I don't need to be here. Here's another example of how to understand how this virtual reality experience works. If your focus is on the box, and that's what draws your attention, you only have so much of the periphery around you to see. You're limited by your capacity to visually sense your surroundings. So imagine the box is really in the center of a circle. You have this much to look at, and that's about it when your central focus is this box. So now imagine being elevated high in the air, looking down at the box. You should notice it's smaller, and your experience of it changes. All your issues are still there. You haven't made them go away. You haven't resisted them. You haven't changed them. You haven't fought with any of them, and you haven't even named them. They are in a box. Now you're experiencing a perspective called spatial distance. Now you have a sense memory of what it's like to be hundreds or thousands of feet up in the air. You know, your mind knows right away, and your whole being adjusts the mind-body experience when invited into this process, which mimics the real thing. It feels very real, and the subconscious responds to it automatically as if it was. It knows, I am far away from that which caused me stress, overwhelm, or anxiety. Whatever that story is that the box is now symbolically containing. It's no longer the same size, and your whole outlook naturally expands. No longer is the box the center of the small circle, because you now have a huge vista to look at, and now your choices are infinite. You're free then to make decisions, change habitual behavior. Your thinking can be positive and will bypass the conditioning that held you hostage to those negative thought patterns, behaviors, etc. Well, that's how you got here in the first place. You want change, you want a better life with more meaning, abundance, etc. Now you can choose the change, and the more you reinforce that choice, then that becomes your primary experience. The subconscious begins to be conditioned for a new reality, and that's what this is all about. Whether you are in the landscape or on the hill, now turn around. What's the view behind you? What do you see from this new perspective? How does this add to your understanding of the emotional state it represents? 11. When you have sufficiently explored the landscape or are simply ready to leave, call in a winged creature. When the winged creature arrives, it will most likely take the form of a bird, but any winged creature will do. 12. Once the winged creature arrives, note the species and color. Even if you're unfamiliar with species of birds, you may simply get the impression, I think it's an eagle, or a robin, or a bee. Once your personal mode of flight has arrived, allow it to become big enough for you to get on its back at your regular size, or for you to become small enough to get on the bird at its regular size, whichever feels right to you. 13. Either way, climb on its back and soar up into the clear blue sky. Feel the additional relief, detachment, and neutrality that comes with this. 14. Look over the side and view the landscape from above. Is it bigger or smaller than you thought? What surrounds the landscape? Is there an edge or a border? Take a few notes from your perspective up here. How does your emotional state look to you from up here at a distance? Feel the relief perspective brings. The subconscious is always in communication with the unconscious, choosing the things that have the highest electrical charge to base a pattern on, even if you don't like its results. Whatever was strongly planted in your mind, then reinforced and repeated over time, is well grooved in your mind-body memory. It's like a well-traveled ski slope, and what we need to learn is how to choose another one that will take us somewhere new.
There are many little things you can do to access the power of the present moment. For example, a very simple thing, ask yourself, am I still breathing? And you suddenly feel the air flowing into your body and out of your body. Yes, I'm breathing. At that moment, you've entered the state of presence. Even if it's only 5 seconds, you've entered that, you've become present.
In the moment.
In that moment. So another thing I suggest is when you do habitual everyday motions like washing your hands or walking across the room or walking down the stairs or the slightest thing, taking a cup out of the cupboard, do it consciously, do it being present of the feel, for example, you wash your hands, feel the water, smell the soap.
Yes.
Becoming acutely conscious of sense perceptions, which means looking, hearing, touching, if also, brings you into the present moment. And the more you bring those moments of presence into your life, the more your old conditioning becomes eroded gradually.
I see. So learning to do it with washing your hands. I just got
Simple
this.
things.
Well, this is good. This class is good for me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I got it now. Just learning to do the simple things begins to retrain your mind.
Yes. And another thing is most simple things that you do, which actually fill up most persons' everyday life, because the whole day consists of simple things that you have to do.
Right.
They're all relatively simple.
Right.
And the way most people live is that everything you do is a means to an end. And the end is where you want to get to, the next moment.
Right. So you're never thinking about the moment.
No, because you want to get to the next one. You're washing your hand in order to already do that. Or you're while you're making a cup of coffee, you really want to be drinking it. And then everything you do is a means to an end. The end is always the next moment in the future, which never arrives, because all you ever have in life is the present moment.
Present moment. So you're constantly frustrated,
yes,
creating anxiety for yourself and stress, because you can't just be present now.